This isn't a wake-up call. It's the sound of a door slamming shut. Not a gentle click, but a final, echoing thud. The kind that tells you the opportunity you thought would always be there. It just evaporated. You feel that knot in your gut. That's the truth hitting you. You are running out of second chances. Not in some distant, abstract future, but right now. Every single day, you're bleeding out potential, one deferred decision at a time. The comfortable lie you've told yourself, the one that whispers, "I'll do it tomorrow. I'll be different then. There's always another chance," is a dangerous fantasy. It's a trick your own mind plays, a cognitive bias known as the planning fallacy, where you consistently underestimate the time, effort, and risks involved in tasks, even when past experience screams otherwise. This isn't just poor judgment. It's a fundamental error in how your brain processes time and opportunity. It's the insidious belief that future you will somehow possess superpowers that present you lacks. This mental shortcut, combined with what behavioral scientists call temporal or hyperbolic discounting, makes you prefer immediate, smaller rewards over objectively larger, more beneficial future gains. You choose the instant hit, the easy path, because the true cost of delay feels distant, abstract, and therefore irrelevant. This creates an invisible erosion of opportunity, a silent, continuous drain of potential that you don't even perceive until it's too late. Your brain is wired for comfortable deferral, actively obscuring the finite nature of these chances. And then there's the projection bias, the self-deceiving belief that your future self will somehow share the same beliefs, values, and energy as your current self, leading to short-sighted decisions. You dump the burden of the hard work, the uncomfortable conversations, the difficult choices, onto a future version of yourself who, when that future arrives, simply becomes the present you, repeating the cycle of postponement. This second chance isn't seized, it's endlessly deferred, trapped in an infinite loop of comfortable, self-sabotaging postponement. The brutal truth is, the only you capable of seizing opportunities, of taking that second chance, is the one listening right now. Look around. Feel the weight of it all. That pervasive sense of being lost, distracted, or just plain stuck. It's not just you. This generation, yours, is navigating a mental health crisis unlike any before. Over 42% of Gen Z have been diagnosed with a mental health condition, with anxiety and depression leading the charge. More than 70% of you report feeling constantly stressed or anxious about work, money, and the sheer uncertainty of the future. It's not because you're too online or too sensitive, as some might claim. It's a reality born from an unstable job market, rising student loan debt, and the fear of not being good enough. The imposter syndrome that burns you out before you even truly begin. You are the most connected, yet often the most disconnected generation, with instant access to information that paradoxically amplifies loneliness and anxiety. The pandemic, remote work, these weren't just disruptions. They were fundamental shifts that stripped away the low-stakes environments where previous generations learned basic skills. How to manage a work schedule, how to talk to a boss, how to deal with the unpleasant realities of a job without complaint. If the foundational how-to is missing, inaction becomes a default, not just a choice, because the path forward is genuinely unclear or daunting. This feeds a deeper perception, a silent rebellion against the feeling that society's ladder is rigged, that effort is meaningless. It's a tangible deficit in foundational adulting and professional skills, creating a systemic stuckness that goes beyond individual character flaws. Then there's the digital days. Your attention span, on average, taps out at 8 seconds if you're Gen Z, 12 seconds if you're a millennial. That's less than a goldfish. This isn't an accident. It's a neurological adaptation. You've been immersed in a fast-paced world of instant information and gratification, and your brain has been actively rewired for constant novelty, rapid switching, and shallow engagement. Short-form content, endless scrolling, the frequency of switching between platforms. These aren't just habits. They've trained your brain to lose focus after mere seconds. While you might be adept at multitasking and managing digital information, this efficiency comes at the direct expense of sustained focus and deep thought. This creates a paradox. You're skilled at superficial engagement, but impaired in the deep, concentrated effort required for meaningful progress. It's not simply a choice to be distracted. It's a learned impairment, a neurological rewiring for shallow engagement. And the procrastination? It's not just laziness. It's a complex psychological defense, a short-term mood repair strategy. You put off aversive tasks, the boring, the frustrating, the meaningless, to avoid the immediate anxiety and negative mood they trigger. It's the impulse to give in to feel good. Now, even if it means dumping the consequences on your future self. But there's a deeper layer. If the work feels meaningless, if you don't believe your effort will have a big impact on your future, or if you feel stuck in social hierarchies that seem rigged, your brain lacks the necessary reward chemicals to initiate and sustain action. This stuck feeling isn't just about avoiding discomfort. It's also about a profound lack of perceived purpose, a biological disincentive for effort. This leads to a more existential form of inaction, where the drive to even start is absent. Procrastination becomes a symptom of lost meaning and mood dysregulation, a silent rebellion against a system that feels pointless. Now, here's the reframe, the slap in the face you didn't see coming, the true cost of inaction. The most profound, pervasive, and lasting regret doesn't come from the mistakes you made, but from the chances you didn't take. In the short term, you might regret that impulsive action, that ill-considered word. But when people look back at the end of their lives, inaction regrets overwhelmingly outnumber action regrets by a staggering 84% to 16%. The regret for the things you did not do is inconsolable. An action, even a failed one, has a finite outcome. You learn from it, you integrate it, you move on. But in inaction, it leaves an open wound of endless possibilities, a constant what if that is replayed without resolution. Its consequences are psychologically infinite. It's a personal shadow, cast by missed turns and unfulfilled desires, a yearning for paths not taken, for a future where you did better. This asymmetry of regret, this temporal shift, means that your brain's short-term comfort-seeking and risk aversion lead you directly into the path of ultimate, pervasive, and inconsolable regret. This second chance isn't just about a do-over. It's about the opportunity that truly expires, leaving an echo that never fades. This is the illusion of safety. Your comfort zone isn't a sanctuary, it's a cage. Your brain, wired for survival, instinctively pushes you towards the safe path, avoiding risk and uncertainty. This is reinforced by the mood repair mechanism of procrastination, where you give in to feel good by avoiding discomfort in the short term. The profound paradox is that this pursuit of immediate comfort and perceived safety, while seemingly protective, is precisely what leads to that psychologically infinite regret of inaction. The comfort zone, rather than being a haven, becomes a self-imposed prison that prevents growth, innovation, and the seizing of opportunities, leading to a life filled with what-ifs and unfulfilled potential. True safety and long-term well-being lie outside that comfortable cage. Embracing discomfort is not just a challenge. It's the only path to escaping the ultimate regret of a life unlived. But here's the power in that pain. Regret can be a compass. It's not just a punishing emotion. It's a profound feedback mechanism. The intensity of regret for missed opportunities or unfulfilled desires points directly to your deepest values, your true aspirations, and the areas where you need to grow. This means the second chance is to internalize this feedback. Before the regret becomes inconsolable, use it as a proactive motivator rather than a retrospective burden. The pain of potential inaction now can be the fuel to prevent the deeper, more permanent pain of actual inaction later. Regret illuminates alternate paths, offering a glimpse of how different choices could have unfolded. This hindsight, though painful, is a crucial lesson that refines your decision-making, molding you into a more prudent individual. It unmasks your values, clarifying your priorities, guiding you towards a life aligned with your true self. It becomes fuel for change, transforming discomfort into a powerful motivator for corrective action. Lean into the discomfort of contemplating potential future regret. Now, harness this powerful, often avoided, emotion as a catalyst for immediate, values-aligned action, transforming a negative feeling into a profound source of clarity and drive. So how do you break free? How do you reclaim those vanishing second chances? It starts with mastering your mind. This isn't some fluffy self-help mantra. It's an integrated approach that combines raw mental toughness, radical personal responsibility, and a scientific understanding of how your brain actually works. It's the unyielding discipline of David Goggins, the brutal honesty of Mark Manson, and the neuroscientific precision of Andrew Huberman, all fused into a single, actionable blueprint for transformation. Goggins talks about the 40% rule. When your mind tells you you're done, when you feel completely exhausted and want to quit, you're only 40% of the way to your true capacity. Your brain is wired to signal discomfort, boredom, or fatigue long before true exhaustion, primarily to conserve precious resources and avoid pain. This is what Huberman calls limbic friction, the energy your brain generates to overcome anxiety, procrastination, and fatigue. That feeling of being stuck, tired, or unmotivated is often just a psychological barrier, a false alarm, not a genuine limitation. There's a vast, untapped reserve of potential beyond that initial resistance. The second chance here is to consciously recognize and push past that initial, often deceptive, internal resistance, knowing that true growth and capability lie just beyond it. You build mental calluses by repeatedly pushing through that discomfort, expanding your capacity for action. To overcome that initial friction, you need to build momentum. It's the unstoppable force of small wins. Overwhelming tasks trigger paralysis, but breaking them down into tiny, almost trivial steps bypasses your brain's resistance. Think about the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately. This isn't about productivity hacks. It's about neurochemical reinforcement. Completing even a tiny step triggers a sense of accomplishment and releases those reward chemicals in your brain, creating a positive feedback loop. This isn't just about getting a task done, it's about building a habit of starting, generating internal motivation that makes the next, slightly larger step feel easier and more appealing. It's the domino effect of microactions, consistently building unstoppable momentum and rewiring your brain for action. This second chance doesn't require a grand, intimidating leap, but rather a consistent series of tiny, almost imperceptible shifts that, over time, build unstoppable momentum and rewire the brain for action. To manage your finite energy and focus, you need a system. The Eisenhower Matrix is a powerful mental model for strategic prioritization. It forces you to categorize tasks into 4 quadrants: urgent and important, do it now; important but not urgent, schedule it; urgent but not important, delegate it; and neither urgent nor important, delete it. Eisenhower himself famously said, "The urgent problems are not important, and the important are never urgent." Most people get trapped in the tyranny of the urgent, constantly reacting to tasks that scream loudest but don't move the needle on their long-term goals. This reactive pattern is a direct consequence of temporal discounting, where future benefits are devalued, and the planning fallacy, which makes you underestimate the time required for important, proactive work. By consciously scheduling those important but not urgent tasks, you proactively invest in your future, preventing them from escalating into crises and ensuring that your second chances are spent on what truly matters, not just what screams loudest. This combats decision fatigue, freeing up mental energy for the choices that truly matter. It transforms your approach from reactive crisis management to proactive, intentional growth. Then there's pre-commitment, outsmarting your future self. You know your willpower is a finite resource, prone to weakness in the face of temptation. Pre-commitment is a strategic behavioral tool where you proactively remove tempting choices or increase the cost of undesirable actions. It's like Ulysses tying himself to the mast to resist the siren's call, knowing his future self would be weak. This isn't about restricting freedom. It's about strategically surrendering choice in the present to gain greater long-term freedom. For instance, blocking distracting websites or leaving your phone in another room while you work. The crucial understanding here is that self-imposed pre-commitment strategies are often less effective than externally implemented ones. This highlights the power of social accountability or designing your environment so that the desired action becomes the only easy choice. It's a proactive defense against your feeling brain's immediate desires and the powerful pull of temporal discounting. You free your future self from the exhausting burden of constant willpower battles, making the desired action the default. But the deepest level of change, the ultimate second chance strategy, is identity-based habits. Most people set outcome-based goals. I want to lose weight. I want to get stronger. But your current behaviors are simply a reflection of your current identity, the type of person you believe yourself to be. True, lasting change begins by focusing on who you want to become, and then proving that new identity to yourself through small, consistent actions. Instead of saying, I want to write a book, say, I want to become the type of person who writes every day. Then, prove it. Write one paragraph today. If you want to be strong, become the type of person who never misses a workout. Then, prove it. Do push-ups every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If your internal self-image doesn't align with the desired action, that action will always feel like a struggle. But when you believe you are that person, the action becomes less of a battle and more of an authentic expression of who you are. This creates a powerful, self-reinforcing loop where small wins don't just build momentum. They prove your new identity to yourself, making future actions easier, more consistent, and ultimately, inevitable. It's the most profound counter to the future you fallacy because it makes the desired future self the present self. The most profound second chance available is the opportunity to redefine your very self, making consistent, impactful action a natural and effortless extension of who you are, rather than a constant, draining fight against your own nature. The clock is ticking. You feel it, don't you? That tightening in your chest. It's not a threat, it's a truth. The second chances aren't infinite. They are finite, precious, and they are slipping through your fingers with every later, every tomorrow. Every moment you choose the comfortable lie over the raw, uncomfortable truth. This isn't about some grand, impossible leap. It's about the very next breath, the very next decision, the very next 2 minutes. It's about accepting that the pain of action is fleeting, but the pain of inaction, the echo of what could have been, is inconsolable and psychologically infinite. Don't let your comfort zone become your cage. Don't let the digital noise rewire your capacity for deep work. Don't let the illusion of a future you steal the power of the present you. Recognize the false alarms of fatigue and push past them. Use regret as your compass, guiding you toward what truly matters. Start small. Build the momentum. Prioritize what's important, not just what's urgent. Outsmart your impulsive future self with pre-commitment. And most importantly, decide who you are. Decide the person you want to become, and then, with every single action, however small, prove it to yourself. The second chance isn't coming. It's here. It's now. What are you going to do with it?